My name is Amit Sood. I'm of Indian origin, based in London. And a couple of years ago, with a few friends at Google, we started a project. Well, great. So that's my title. And we started this project, which was called the Google Art Project. The idea with the Google Art Project was very simple. A lot of us who are not used to going to museums every day, living in the Western world, find art and the houses that host them to be sometimes not very accessible. By that I mean it can be closed, it can be expensive, it can be a somewhat difficult experience if you are not used to it. And the country where I'm from, India, you don't get up on a Sunday morning and go to a museum. You don't do that. Whereas, my friends in Paris and London, sure, Sunday morning, Saturday in the museum, it's acceptable. So we started with this idea of saying, why don't we try to create an online platform that really helps you discover museums and the art in those museums. But we wanted to do it in a very special way. So I'm going to, by the way, that's the only slide I have. So I'm going to now jump straight. I was not lying, right? So I'm going to jump straight actually into a video just to set the mood, since we had so many technical issues. And hopefully this will play. So that was the video. Now I'm going to show you the live product, so you actually can experience what I'm talking about. Before you see this, I'm just going to explain to you a little bit about the project. This project is part of something at Google called the Google Cultural Institute. And all the projects that I'm going to show you today are non-commercial from Google. So Google does not make any money out of them. These are done mainly with the cultural sector to share technology to bring art and culture online. So the first project, which is the Google Art Project, has currently 151 museums and collections from 40 countries. But the way in which they are presented is what's unique about this project. So let's very quickly, you come to a home page like this. You move your mouse over, and you can click Collections. Collections is the quickest way to just understand how many museums and galleries are part of this project. Another way to just look at it is the map view. So this really shows you coverage in around 40 countries so far, and we just started 2 years ago. I think I'm going to start with, I have a flight to Paris later this evening, so I'm going to start by actually going to Paris. I need to type I correctly. All right, great. So I hope most of you know the Musée d'Orsay in Paris, and that's one of our partners in the project. So what we've done is each museum provides us a collection of extremely high resolution artworks with a lot of contextual information that you might get in a museum. But here is where it gets really special. And to show what I mean by special, I'm actually going to go to another museum just to travel around the world a little bit. I'm going to go to the Met in New York. So now I'm at the Met, same logic, just jump to another museum. This painting, The Harvesters by Peter Brugel, I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but it's considered a masterpiece at the Met. And usually when you're standing in front of a painting in these museums, you're asked to move quickly. You're asked to keep quiet. You're asked to give it a certain attention. But what we wanted to do is allow people to start exploring the painting in their own house by really moving around the artwork. This is all happening live. It doesn't need a software, no login, no payment. You really can start getting into the details of each and every artwork in this project. So now let's just zoom out a little bit. Actually, let's zoom out completely. Notice this area. This is the first thing I noticed when I saw this painting in the digital version. I've stood in front of this painting many times, but I have never noticed this. So you start zooming in, and you start realizing that there is actually activity that has been painted in 1565 by the artist. This painting is from 1565. And I asked the people at the Met in New York, what's going on here? And one of the curators explained to me that it's a game that they used to play, where they used to take a stick and beat an animal. And I don't know why they did that, but apparently it had to do something with religion. So this is a goose that was hit with a stick repeatedly on something called Shrove Tuesday. Now, this type of detail, it's impossible to understand if you're just standing in front of a painting for 1 minute and moving out. And now, just stay focused on the goose, and I'm going to show you how deep we were in this artwork. So that's it. I love it when that happens. Oh. It's a very satisfying experience. So take this and apply this technology to every single artwork. Now, I don't think all artworks need it. That's not my decision. The museums make those decisions. But what starts happening is that you start really getting sculptures, objects, carpets, a lot of different types of objects that you would never see in this manner. But we are not finished. So let me now go back very quickly to the Orsay. And this is a masterpiece by Renoir. Again, you can really zoom in. I don't have time. Otherwise, I would keep zooming into every single painting. But now let's say that you're planning, you want to just, maybe you've been to the Orsay and you just want to see how it feels again. Or you have never been to the Orsay, you don't know anything about the Orsay, but you want to maybe plan it on your next trip. Using our Street View technology, we went inside the museum to essentially provide users to walk through museums at the click of their fingertip, without any software involved, all happening using Google's backend technologies. This is a floor plan. So if I wanted to jump into another room, I could jump into another room. Let's say I want to go to level 5, which is a new level at the Orsay, for those of you who haven't been. You can see the new renovated wing. You can see artworks here. If the artwork has a sign, you click into the artwork, and you jump straight in. Once you're here, you can zoom around, see more information by clicking details. You can get the provenance, the description, the website of the Orsay. So it's really not just a toy. It's not for just zooming in and out. It's also has been used by teachers. It's being used in classrooms right now. And people are really trying to see how they can rediscover art. I'm going to show you maybe 1 or 2 quick features and then jump to a few other projects, because this can go on for a long time. I can just keep showing you art. So let's say you're like me and you do not know much about art. I really did not know much about art. I was a technologist. And you just want to find things by the character. So let's say gold. I love gold. I'm Indian. All Indians love gold. So let's just say I want to see everything that has gold in this project. With one click, I can now understand across 151 museums, all objects that have some element of gold in them. So you can have paintings, you can have objects, and these are all from different museums. This is from the Museum of Cycladic Art in Greece. This is from Indianapolis Museum in the United States. This is Indianapolis. This is again Cycladic, Foundation Banco Santander. So it's really a variety of institutions that you would probably not visit yourself. And of course, as we are in Turkey, in Istanbul, I will try and see if I can show you. Oh, I have pronounced it wrong. Sorry. So we have worked with two museums here, the Pera Museum and the Sabancı Museum. I'm trying hard on that. And essentially, this is just the start. This is just the beginning. The way this project works is because Google does not really make any money out of it, this project really depends on the community, the cultural community. So if we get a request from a museum, then we can go in and we can do this. So we have the Pera, we have the Sabancı, so I'll just click quickly so you can get an idea of their collection. And you can see here that the collection can be very different. It can be, doesn't have to be sculptures, doesn't have to be classical Western oil on canvas. And each one of these, you can get into the details. So this project now, after 2 years, has garnered over 15 million people from around 30 countries who come to visit this website regularly. They come because they are either searching for information about art, they just want to experience art. And my colleague Christian mentioned about Google+. The Google Art Project is one of the most popular pages on Google+. If you look at this number, this is 2.2 million people follow Google Art Project on Google+. And if you follow it, every day we give you tips, we give you ideas on what to explore, because it can be sometimes quite scary to get so much information but don't have anybody to guide you. So if you want the guide, you can, every day we pick paintings, we talk about them, and you can see that people comment. We have around 39 comments over here. It's really about how social this project can become, because art at the end of the day is a very social conversation, a very personal but also social. So I'm not going to take any more time on the art project. I'm actually going to move to another project. So we spoke about art, but we also have a lot of beautiful structures, architecture, archaeological sites, and we decided to come up with another project for them. A colleague of mine who couldn't be here today, she came up with the idea of using the same technology to explore areas that are beautiful in the world. And this is another project called the Google World of Wonders project. This project allows you to start looking at these historic sites. So for example, let's say I want to see the Botanic Gardens in London, very famous gardens. Again, using Street View technology, we've gone in and got a 360 view of the gardens. Obviously it's not artwork, so you're not going to zoom in, but you can get the idea. You can walk around. If you want information, you get information, which we worked with UNESCO and the World Monument Fund. You can get videos. You have photography from users about the Kew Gardens. And there are many themes here. There's archaeological sites, architecture, cities and towns, historic sites. I'm not going to read it off, but essentially what we're doing is we're starting. So currently we don't have any locations in Turkey. We are working hard on it, and with the support of the partners, hopefully we will have a few. But the idea is really you have art, you have architecture, and then comes the third project. The third project is brand new. It just launched last week, and it's part of the Google Cultural Institute, but it's really about archives. It's about records that have been lying closed in rooms, and nobody has had access to them. So we worked with around 17 partners, all archival institutions like the Nelson Mandela Foundation in South Africa, the Freya Sackler in the US, and the idea is to create exhibitions. So for example, these are all the exhibitions you can see. Right now there are 42 exhibitions on the website. And this is really more of a storytelling. So this is called Imperial Exposures, and it's about East Asian rulers. This is all done by the museums, where they use image, they use text, and they try and tell you a story, like how you might when you go to a curator in a museum. So it's digital exhibitions. And this has just launched a week back. We are going to be adding a lot more exhibitions every couple of months. So I think the key for me is, you have art, architecture, and archives, and how do you help these organizations embrace the internet? I don't know if you've noticed this, but in all these websites, there is no Google logo. The logos are all hidden in the background. For example, here, for Art Project, it's all the way down here, powered by Google, and same for the World of Wonders. Because the idea really is that Google is the platform, it's the back-end technology, but all the content is with the institutions, and they need to become more comfortable with the internet to try and bring it all out. So I think I've run out of time, so I'm going to stop now. If there are any questions, please let me know through the colleagues, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please go play with these websites, show it to your children. It's a lot of fun. Thank you.